So you guys are here with me, which means that you read the message on the screen. So we're going to talk about that. We literally are just with the freshest of all the JUST coming out of a Venus retrograde. That was the most powerful retrograde that has ever happened for me personally. I have another video here where I talk about what you got back in that Venus retrograde. It's a reading and a channeled message, some personal experience too. Check it out if it feels right for you. We're going to have a little late night chat. Excuse me. Confirmation burps. Pardon. I was just drinking some fantastic seltzer, y'all. I found. I'm usually a polar seltzer girly myself, but I found some Waterloo mocktails that are freaking tastic. It reminds me of a Willy Wonka where they're like, the snozberries taste like snozberries. Well, the margarita tastes like margarita, and the Mai Tai tastes like Mai Tai-ish. That one's more ish, but the pina colada is pina colada-ing, sis. It's so good. So, remember to drink your water, ladies and gentlemen. It is fantastic for helping you clean your system and for energy protection. Okay, back to the message. Oh, I guess we're talking about water because people are thirsty. That part. The angels are hilarious with me sometimes. Oh, I love you guys. People are thirsty. So that's also what this retrograde taught me. And people want you to be thirsty. But we're here today. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today because one of my exes wanted to slide through on the late night and at the last minute because they wanted to play. And I'm going to share about this because I think there's a lesson here. They are blocked. They are all the things. No backseas. Shout out lovely day one day. And to your mother, too. No backseas. That's not something that we do. Not once we've learned how to take our power back. And I highly suggest you verbally out loud and audibly call your power back. Say the name of the person or the name of the demon that is coming up against you. We're going to talk a little bit about that and more about that in this year. I really want you guys to understand the nature of spiritual warfare. So what we have before here in Exhibit A is a text, and this is real time, okay? This is not a teaching aid that I'm pulling from yesteryear. This is what we have before us right here, and this is what a Venus retrograde will do. So if you felt a particularly strong pull or tug of energy from any of your exes or any of your old friends or any of your old family that you were shunned from or that you shunned, it is all true. Your intuition was not misleading you. It was actually guiding you, and people are pulling heavily on your energy. You have new cycles that are beginning for the collective specifically, and that means that you need to really release the things. Now, I'm not going to hold you. This is not all kumbaya. You will be tested. You will be tested because sometimes there are some people you are supposed to reconcile with, and sometimes, and that is in the rarest, minute of occasions, sis. So do not get carried away with that. Do not use that as justification to reconnect with someone toxic that it took you time and energy to exercise out of your life. Okay, we're not going to do that, but you will have to use your discernment. And your discernment is at a all-time high. It is heightened now because you have been through many tower moments, many spiritual moments. You have snapped a few narcissists. So you have increased your powers exponentially, but you will be tested before you get out of this last stage of this Venus retrograde energy. Or if you have already been tested, you know what I'm talking about. And that means that things may spin. You may have opportunities. You may be triggered. Whatever that may be. And you'll have to figure out how to transmute that energy. Also, how to resist the energy. To be indulgent in any direction. Whether it is to be pulled in or to be pulled in the undertow. Or to let inhibitions and cautions go. You will be tested. and you have been tested, I would dare say as well. So congratulations, because many of you guys have passed that test. But the hits keep coming, right? Because we're still alive. It never ends. And I want you to understand that too, guys. If you are a light worker, if you're an earth angel, if you're chosen, if you are vibing with the tribe of light to any degree, then there's a whole other faction that has their dark work and dark demonic energy to do. And the whole point of this existence is the battle between the two of you. I know you may want to only suck yourself away. The funny thing about that is even if you hide and hermit, and God knows I love it, and also empaths, we need it. We have to decompress and be away from people to cleanse our energy. So don't feel bad about that for a freaking second. If you don't want to go to the thing, don't go to the thing. If you don't want to show up, don't show up. Or you want to go to a piece of the thing but not all of the thing, don't do that. I was working with a client and we were talking about the boundaries and time limits of something. And I so relate to that. Like, don't, in our past lives and previous incarnations as people pleasers and codependents, we didn't want to disappoint, etc., etc. How beautifully freeing is it to just be like, no, I don't want to do it. In order to do that, you will have to go through some of these gauntlets where you're detaching from needing other people's validation. That's the beautiful thing about the hermit mode, that a lot of people that are archon and demonic energy that are in the matrix still don't even understand or relate to. Think social media. Everything is about that validation. Now, and that's bigger than just people. That's a real serotonin and dopamine thing that can be measured scientifically, even when you're scrolling and checking on your phone. That's all part of the whole shebang. However, if you're dependent on man, that puts you in a really persnickety situation. We have a superpower in that we can hermit, and we don't care, and we will walk away after we know what we need to know, and after we say what we need to say, or don't say what we need to say, or they say what they want to say, whatever it is. We're just not into the games that people play. That doesn't work for us. Actually, it depletes us and causes us medical issues. So, autoimmune issues, various things like that. So, let's talk about this. And when X has been back, this isn't part of the test because everything isn't black and white. And with narcissists, I think it is black and white, but because we're humans, you will have emotional attachments in various ways to various X's that feel completely different. I always say I love being the scientist here, and then I regret it when I'm inside of the experiment and under the petri dish and the microscope. Guys, pray for me with my throat chakra. The last of this retrograde and some hating ass energy is wanting me not to speak. Sorry, Bookie. Anyway, we gonna be speaking. So what I'm saying here is that what was I saying specifically? Oh yes, you have to know when you are dealing with people that they may not want to let you go. People, once they are divorced from your energy or you cut ties and you sever things, will start to understand things that maybe you were telling them the whole time, but then they'll see it. And what sets you apart from so many other people in their lives is that you are the exception. And for someone with control issues, as we all can have, so let's just be fair here, Earth Angels, about our idiosyncrasies, but narcissists have ultimate control issues, yes? And ours was the adverse. That people pleasing was a control issue too, but that's the other side of it. And so what we won't do here, and what we will do here, Big Black Mama energy, is I only care about you. But I want you, that means I want you to have a 360-degree view of your own version of fuckery and how it might have played into a narcissist's hands, because that is the information that empowers you so that you can never be sucked into that dynamic again. Not fully even. You know, even if you might feel like it's, you know, but you will wake up and you will be aware. They don't really want to let go. Even if they were abusing, even if they're hurting, even if they were destiny swapping, even if they were energy siphoning, they don't want to let go. Now, I'll tell you, this X specifically that you're reading the text on the screen, I've obviously blacked out any identifying information, so you're just going to see the text. But I feel no ways about sharing that with you. I am a very private person, but I think this is a teaching tool, and I think it's an incredible teaching tool, and I think that it's specifically why I get to sit here and connect with you. You need to know that this is real life and this is how this happens. I spoke the other day about an ex that reached out to me in the retrograde, and it's been umpteen years, almost 20, and because of something that went down, I allowed communication and some closure. But I have a good eye on future, hey, what are you doing, or any kind of corrosive, toxic behavior if she thought she was going to slide back in. That's not it. Sometimes you will allow a thing, but that's what you need for you. But don't let anybody get over on you and think that they're going to slide back in, because that's something that a narc will do. Not every one of your exes is narcissist, I pray. That one wasn't. But still, I kept my distance because it was healthy for me. I didn't care about what it was for her. Specifically to the person on the screen, I don't care about their feelings because mine weren't cared about. So this is not a tit for tat. It's just, let's understand the moral ground where we're at with that, especially with narcissists. There is no honor among thieves with them. They will shank you to your face and in your back. So this is more of a soft launch spiritual attack, but it is a text, Monette. Yes, a text, and a text from your ex is a spiritual attack too, because you set boundaries with that person, because you no longer had work to do. I'm very, very clear about what my mission is whenever I get into a connection with anybody, a connection with any person, a friend, a lover, a soulmate dater. I know what I'm there to do. I know what the issues are, even if I don't say them. As a projector in human design, I have to wait for the invitation. So I may assess the damage, and I understand the diagnosis, and I even know what the prescription needs to be, but I cannot actually begin surgery until I'm invited to do that. And it has to be with full consent and properly. Real agreements, real contracts, all that stuff. People love that level of energy. They cannot get enough. But the problem is they don't respect it. And they think you're an easy target, and they think you're soft, and they think you're stupid and innocent and naive, and someone that is easily bullied. There are a lot of misconceptions, and the angels allow that to happen because you are a spiritual assassin. When I got this text, I was vexed. I wasn't nostalgic. I wasn't wistful or listful. I wasn't lustful, which is interesting because this ex specifically traffics in that energy and has that entity attachment. Hence why I was keeping my distance. I wasn't any of the things that I had been. My attraction to this ex specifically was primal in every way. She's a fellow fire sign, an Aries, and sexual chemistry was fantastic. It was great. The issue wasn't sexual chemistry. The issue was, what do you emotionally need? What I want you guys to give yourself permission to know and do is that you deserve exactly the kind of love that feels right to you. I remember Ian Van Zant talking about breaking up with her boyfriend in her 70s, and people were like, you're crazy, like, why would you do that? And, they've been together 13 years, like, don't you think you're overreacting, sis? Like, maybe you could just get past this argument. She said, yeah, but he's just not giving me the love that I deserve. Now, she's a Virgo, so exacting, persnickety energy for sure. But she's mastered her energy, and she spoke up for herself, and she said, at the very least, I need to know that I'm willing to walk away and let this go if it's not going to be the love that I deserve or the love that makes me feel good in the way that that feels for me. I'm giving to him what he needs, but he wasn't giving back to me what I needed. And even in my 70s, I had to love me enough to say, even if it means no one else comes my way, I'm not going to stay here and settle for this because it doesn't meet my standards. And it's not enough. You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to want the love you have. Just because this ex on the screen wanted to love me lustfully doesn't mean that that was going to be satisfactory for me. Now, here's the thing. People will come in and they will promise you everything. They will future fake you. They will lie. They will love bomb you. All of that. Everything. What made this disembarkation particularly disappointing, it didn't hurt like the Three of Swords or the Five of Swords. It wasn't that. It was Five of Swords energy. She was definitely in that. But I didn't feel the Three of Swords. Because I knew her character to a certain degree. When people tell you who they are, believe them properly, completely. They never lie, not one time. And people that have more sociopathic, narcissistic traits can't help but to share their game plan for you or what they really think of you through the things they say when they think you're not paying attention, even when they're bragging about things they've done with other people. So much intel is to be gathered with any narcissist or toxic person if they're not a narcissist and they're just toxic, or anybody that has any level of sociopathy, psychopathy, whatever. They will tell you with their duping delight, dripping, corrosive, Joker-like smiles exactly what drives them wild, which is essentially siphoning people's energy through pain, chaos, and toxicity. When we were just friends, this ex and I, she was pivotal in my life. She was instrumental. She was a friend. Now, here's the thing. Would I say she was ever a good friend in the way that I friend? No. She was a friend in the way that she friends. And as she was grandfathered into a previous me that was steeped in all kinds of codependencies, I did not understand about boundaries. So there were times where I would call her out on things and she would talk fast and sing the song that the fire sign sings. And, you know, we fire signs love a good fairy tale. And I had no boundaries. I didn't know myself. I had no backbone. I'm channeling stingray energy. I had no backbone. And so I would call her on things. I would notice things. I would notice shifty behavior, shadiness, and whatever that may be. I would notice things. And I would keep boundaries. I remember she wanted me to work for her. You know, she's a boss, and she was like, I'll put you on my payroll, all this. This is when I was still finding myself and fledgling. We had both once worked at the same place. She had elevated and did fantastic for herself. And I never wanted to work for her. She did beautiful things for me, you know, throughout my life and my creative career. I remember her once sponsoring an art show of mine. But I also remember how she bullied me during the art show. Someone wanted to buy a painting and I didn't want to sell, and I already knew it, and I told her so. I didn't even put a price on it, but because she wanted to impress, hashtag Narc behavior, whoever was in her workspace or whatever, she was trying to bully me into selling my work, and I didn't. I learned so many lessons in doing that art show with her about my boundaries and yeses and nos. I even made more product than I should have because it wasn't authentically as creative as I wanted to be. Some pieces were fantastic, but she wanted quantity and I wanted quality. And therein lies the rub of why our relationship can never work. Specifically, she loved a roster, and I understand a roster too for myself. We knew each other in a different level of our similar shared toxicity, but I grew and evolved as we are mandated to do, Earth Angels. So we were not the same in actuality, not anymore anyway. From yesteryear in the friendship stage, for sure. When it was time to get away from my twin, it was her who drove me to Alabama and drove me back. And the back was really pivotal because my twin was so fucking horrible the last week I was with her. She was so abusive. She was at the height of her abuse. She had demonic entity attachments. I was literally watching them manifest. I was literally watching her shapeshift in front of me. That hurt me. That's probably the last time I think I allowed myself to be hurt. Can any of you guys relate? Sometimes something hurts so much, you have to biochemically change. And that was one of the things that the person on the screen helped me to walk through. I was supposed to stay longer. My twin and I could never get enough of each other. So if we were to spend time together, I might say I'm coming for a few days, and then she would say extend it another few days, and then I'd be up there for another week, and sometimes up to 2 if my schedule would allow. And so I planned a trip with loose parameters, and I was having car issues, and I was going, and you know why I was having car issues? Because I was in a karmic situation, and I wasn't listening, so I was losing money, message, all of this. Let's put all of this together in a quick story time. All these lessons we've been talking about over the last couple of years, guys, they all played out in my life. That's how come I get to teach you. It's not because I'm so magical, it's because I didn't get it right. Okay? And I was losing money, and I was having my car was like in the shop, or something was happening. Like my life was I was like, what is going on? And she was literally siphoning my energy to take to the third party karmic. Nevertheless, I go up there. The angels were like, we're over it. The answers were like, we're intercepting. It's a finish him. It was Mortal Kombat. They threw me into the most intense spiritual warfare of my life. And that hurt my feelings, guys. But that is how this person on the screen and I came to bond, maybe even a trauma bond, because I was in trauma. She was so powerfully protective of me. I would never imagine the way that she tried to treat me, that caused me to tell her to fuck off indefinitely, would ever even be in her little body. Because the way that she has protected me would take your breath away. Some of the most important and literally life-saving moments have happened with this person on the screen. And that's what I mean by there is more than black and white. There is an in-between, and there is a nuance when you are exiting these relationships, and the guilt and the things that come through it, because you do love these people, collective, or you did love them and you did believe them, and they were good until they weren't. And that's the part where we have to learn before we get burnt again. Yes, she had some incredible redeeming qualities. Not to mention being sexy, which now I can't even see. I never thought this girl wouldn't be sexy to me. Now that is narcissistic energy. That's demonic attachment. Absolutely zero attraction. And a narcissist can't handle that. And you can't fake that. Chemistry and sexual energy, wanting to physically touch somebody, you can't fake that. And you know how repugnant narcissistic, toxic, covert narcissistic energy is. You guys have dealt with it. You remember exactly when you stopped wanting to sleep with, or sit next to, or talk to whoever was your booski or your boo-boo. You knew exactly the moment you were like, I can't even stand the smell of you. It is such a powerful thing, those pheromones, right? I never thought I would feel that way about someone who had had such an important role in my life and who was so powerfully protective. But she pulled me out of that twin flame dynamic. She said, you got to deal with this. We're going to heal. It's okay. Only to try to flip it and reverse it and treat me in a similar but different way. Different kind of abuse, but nevertheless. Now, the thing about this is when you go through a major tower moment like I did with my twin, it's not for no reason. It's specifically so that you can see these things coming. Those major moments that shaped you help you to build a data bank where you understand when you're in the midst of someone who is willingly exhibiting toxic behavior, or who has been co-opted by demonic energy and archon energy, who may have entity attachments. And I don't want that to be as grandiose as that show Evil, but that's really what it is. Even if you're not seeing those demons, the spirit of, wanting to unalive yourself, the spirit of depression, jealousy, deep envy, these are entity attachments. And they do contort bodies, and they do make people shaped, and they do change voice modulations. It's real. These movies and things in The Omen and The Exorcist don't appear out of thin air. They appear from experiences that someone saw that made them scared. And we, me, you, earth angels have been fighting with these people, these demons in the flesh, and acting like, oh, okay, thank you, next, meaning I'm going to go on to my daily life. And if you think that it's normal for you not to have PTSD, of course you have PTSD. A lot of people in the Matrix can't see what you see, and they're not transmuting what you transmute, and they're not going to mortal combat with these people that want to take the life from you. So please stop beating yourself up. You saw what you saw. You're not crazy. That happened. They purposely tried to destabilize you. They siphoned from you. They plotted on you. They obsessively stalked you. And when you pull your energy away, as I did with this person on the screen, they think you're maybe having a tantrum, maybe playing a game. Maybe to them it's sexy, but for you it's an ending forever and ever, actually. Sometimes when I counsel clients, especially the ones in their 20s, shout out to my 20-year-olds, I love you guys, but they'll say to me, and that's not true. It's not true. It's not just 20s. The angel said, don't tell that lie. You are absolutely right. I've counseled people of all ages, and I've heard this question. If I leave, will they come back? I can't relate. That scorpionic placement in my 8th house means I don't connect emotionally the way people do to people leaving. The angels knew what I was going to deal with as an earth angel, as a shamanic energy, as a high priestess, which was a lot of high turnover because I'm fighting demons on a pretty regular basis. That's the message for those of you guys that have to go back into the world. Just because you bested the narcissist that was once in your world doesn't mean there will not be others that are not attracted to you. And I'm not trying to discourage you, and I'm not trying to trigger you, but I'm not going to lie to you. You are a light. People will be attracted to you. Our job, and our only job, is to control what we can control, which is ourselves and our reactions, and how much or long we allow it to take hold. Putting boundaries down, doing normal things. When someone's healthy, they're not going to have major flaring up, over controlling reactions to that. If they're not healthy, the demons will manifest, they will surface, they will attack. And that's how you will know what and whom you're dealing with. So don't get in your head and be like, well, how will I know? You'll know. You already know. You always know. It just means it will never get as bad as it once was. And you'll always escape and or figure it out long before they take real food off your plate. When I talk about the twin tower that happened for me, it was never as bad as that energy. It doesn't mean I haven't had battles and I haven't had crazy and I haven't had opportunists but it means that it never took me off my square the way that did. And it never could. Sometimes you have something happen that's so bad that it shifts you, like I said. So please get out of your head. You will know if someone is a narc trying to leave you for dead. Now, this person, when I ended things, was maybe surprised. I don't know. I didn't really go into a back and forth. That's not my style. I'm a dismounter and a go on with my life kind of gal. So I did make a takeaway for myself specifically. What you're there to do is mirror energy, always in relationship, and even with a narcissist. One of the things that this narcissist specifically hated was that she had unfortunately, tragically lost one of her siblings who she loved dearly. And what made this such a peculiar situation for me is that I knew her after she lost him. We met many, many, many years ago when he had recently passed away. She literally moved from wherever she was at down to Florida. And it was supposed to be for a small stay. And it ended up turning into her life. And so his loss was fresh. And I helped her through that morning, as many of us empaths will do. We will transmute energy, whatever is ailing you. And I loved her. And I related to her innocence then at the time, as so I thought. I knew she was broken. I knew it was a lot. I knew there was a lot. But I just wanted to help. Can you guys relate? And so I know the story intimately of the things that happened in the last moments for her brother. But the thing with her brother specifically is that I ended up channeling her brother. Not often, but a few times he came through very clearly. Even on that trip from Alabama, one time he turned into the DJ. We were lost in the middle of the mountains. And he decided he had some songs he wanted to play. And it was all music that was from his time when he was still alive, specifically 90s rap. And it was so specific. We're in the middle of the mountains. We were really listening to country. And then he just took over the radio station and came through with some messages. And she started crying when I was telling her what I was channeling. And she was like, oh my God, that's him. She said his name. And it was like he was sitting in the back between us, riding along in the middle of the night. We totally got lost. Our GPS stopped working, everything. It's like he shut down our electronics. It was such an incredible paranormal medium experience. It was as real as you would see in the movies. So I felt an affinity and a closeness. But when he passed and crossed over, it happened because there were people that were very neglectful around him. And he was sick too. And they promised that they were going to love him and take care of him. But that's not what they decided to do. And we're pretty sure they had a great hand in his unfortunate and untimely demise. He was just like 19, guys. If even. And she despised those people. As she should. She was mad because they took advantage of him when he wasn't doing good. And they knew what he had been through. And how could they? And I listened to all those things she had to say. And when it was a gun that she wanted to point my way, because the narcissistic demons had come out to play, I said, this is going to be Russian roulette. It's not going to end the way you think it's going to end. And also, take a look in the mirror, sweet friend. She had become the very people she despised. That's why people don't like us, guys. In that scenario, I had become her brother. And she was the person that was dispatched in to be of service with me during a time when life was not lifing for me. Life was not lifing. Life was trying to unlife for me. And there were moments of valiant energy. And she's good at that. Fire signs, we're good at showing up for the show. But in the quiet moments, the ones where no one would know, it was a lot harder letting her selfishness and her malicious energy and her sabotaging, future faking shenanigans go. A full circle moment where she got to see where her wild things grow. Don't respond to the text when they send it, guys. Don't be flattered because you walked away and they want to come back. Of course they do. They want to finish you. I've told you a little bit about her. Maybe even while I was talking, it engendered some emotion and some feelings of compassion. But let's talk about narcissists and what they really do. Let's use some reasonable deduction. Why do you think that she's back? Yeah, it's a Venus retrograde, sure. It's a spiritual attack, yeah. But she's back because she's empty. We happen to be people's greatest supply. Unfortunately, we were built that way, probably from childhood side, meaning we dealt with narcissistic whatevers and abuse that's unspeakable. And we learned in our codependency how to people please, and that's where that good supply energy comes from. It's not necessarily a flex. People say it like it, but I'm like, let's unpack the etymology of why we're such a good supply. It's based on fuckery. It's predicated on fuckery. So, we are people's favorite supply because we are of God, because we are a connected conduit. The same way that I'm able to channel her brother is the same way I'm able to fix what's ailing whoever is standing in front of me. It's the way that I'm able to change and transmute energy. It's the way that I'm able to deflect demonic attack and extract what I need to. It's the way I'm able to work with animal totems that would cause injury in greater amount to other people. And for me, it's just a small scar. I'm not bragging. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. But when you are doing this work, we, Earth Angels, set the bar. They're not getting better. And they really don't understand who the fuck you are. And what I want to do is not delve into spiritual narcissism ourselves, but I want you to understand you need to put some respect on your name. You need to put some respect on your healing hands. You need to put some respect on your energy. You need to put some respect on the way you set people free, on the way you elevate, on the way you help them make money, on the way you help them to see and to problem solve so that they can actually be free. It's not cocky. It's just facts, honey. It's the truth. She's not back because she misses me. The apology seems sincere-ish, I guess. She's back because she needs another fix. She's back because she wants to see if she can get me back in the way that she wants to, so that I will be forever in servitude. So that I can pump her up and tell her she's an amazing rock star, etc., etc. She's back because in our absence, what happens to narcissists and toxic people, demonic entities that come up against us, even if they're tricked. See, we're often tempted to be tricked as well, Earth Angel and empath listening. But we pass those tests. Not every time, and maybe not amazingly, but that's the whole point you're here listening to me, is because you are passing the test. It's an empty nest for a lot of your narcissists. When you walk away, it causes other people to wake up, to lose interest, to see what they need to see. Maybe they had a little bit of like curiosity, or they're thinking, I always felt like something was off, but something about an encounter with someone that is holding the light of God in their soul. It makes it so that even if the people were flying monkeys that were on their side, or their friends, or their whatever, they're always side-eyeing the narcissist because they're like, I never really did trust you, and this person seemed like they were really pure, and like, what the fuck? Like, what happened with you? And just your presence alone dispels, literally, it breaks spells. You heard that? It breaks spells. Just your presence alone disbands covens and breaks spells. So, the narcissist is someone that gets to know their prey well, and the people around them get to know the narcissist via you. It's a catch-22. That's why we're sent in. I just want you guys to understand that too. We're dispatched in because we're the only ones that get the job done. Many have tried. Many are called, few are chosen. That part. We're the ones that get the job done because we are unassuming, and they're like, this is going to be so easy. But when we leave, they get queasy. Think of any vampire. They need to feed. They need something delicious. And that is steady. Something that is grounded. Something that provides the Midas touch energy. She's not back because she misses me. She's not back because she really respects me and understands what she did was purposeful. It was cruel. It was calculated. It was to see if she could elicit emotion out of me because she wanted to siphon my energy. Even if she doesn't understand how demonic energy attachments work, that doesn't mean that I don't. And it's not your job to explain that shit to them. When people are glitching in front of me and manifesting demons, I just watch them. I'm looking at the angels in the room. I'm looking at the demons in the room. I'm listening to the voice modulations. I'm asking for names of demons. That's not, I know I say that it just sounds like a normal day at work. Wow, I can't believe this is my life. But the first time that happened for me in my most toxic narcissistic fight with my freaking crazy, my toxic little twin, I was like, I'm losing my mind. So please don't think you're losing your mind out there, guys. Now it's old hat to me. Oh, more demons? Real? This is really happening? Animal totems? Insects are communicating with me? Okay, got it. It seems crazy, but it's not. And it saved my life. But that's why they want to come back, because they're not getting that with their roundabout whoever is around. And also, once you're gone, the people that loved holding them down, knocking them down, or not giving them what they deserve to whatever degree, go right back to that behavior, because they don't have to compete with you, actually. You are the excitement, guys. When I was dealing with this narcissist specifically, she was siphoning my energy and taking it back to her other connections and relationships, and not being reciprocal with me. That's fine. You have other relationships. I have other relationships. We have other friends. We have other family. We have other things to attend to. But the thing that was very interesting about this relationship specifically is that she wasn't being reciprocal. There was future faking, there were shenanigans, and she just wasn't holding up her end of the bargain. And the only reason that it went as long as it did, because I'm pretty quick. Like, I'm real quick about, like, cutting things off, because that's really the key in little message and a quick tip. When you are dating, specifically for those of you guys that are going to go back outside and start dating, the key is to cut it off as soon as you start noticing the shenanigans. Because one shenanigan will lead to two, will lead to four, will lead to a deluge. And the demon that you're dealing with specifically in that case is Leviathan, the demon of chaos, which is really about, like, larger conglomerates and corporations, if you would think about it. Leviathan energy from Mark Zuckerberg, allegedly. But Leviathan is the demon that you're dealing with when we're talking about a spiral out and an expansion. That's what's happening with narcissists. They are often working with at least Leviathan, at the very least. They have many, but Leviathan's one that I specifically have identified and seen manifest. And so what I'm going to tell you is this. They're back because they're empty, and also no one else is impressed. No one else is impressed, or they continue to lose interest. Your magic and zhuzh rubs off on people when they're around. And this person specifically is incredibly vain. And I'm not mad about it. I liked her because I thought she was fine as fuck. I liked her for a reason, for those reasons specifically. Now I understand energy, spirituality, and entities. I feel like it might have been a little bit more covert attack that I was dealing with for a long time, because that was the only thing. And then towards the end, I was like, I'm not even attracted to you. I'm not even attracted. The game here, and also in any relationship, the purpose of it is reciprocal energy, feeding back into one another. You're dealing with someone toxic or narcissistic, just in case you're still wondering if they want it to be one-sided, if they stop giving as much, if they start being entitled. The entitled is a huge tip-off for me. I really watch people and pay attention. This is just a test of the emergency broadcast systems. And narcissists are so self-absorbed, they're never aware that the testing is happening anywhere there. So don't worry, guys. They miss it every time and walk right into every trap if that's how the divine wants it to be. It's not you, and it's not me. It's conduit energy. It comes through us. But it's to write things and set things back properly. She's not back because she misses me or because I'm magic. She's back because she needs a re-up. She's back because she needs to be plumped back up. She's back, and what I mean by that is, like, with good juicy energy. She's back because everyone sees through her bullshit after me. It's not because I did anything. I literally leave people's lives. When you leave, that cloak of invisibility that they've been able to get away with leaves with you too. And that means that more people start calling them on their shit more frequently and in far more aggressive ways than you. or they're just not able to manipulate in the same way. That's another thing about spiritual battle. When you go into battle with these narcissists, if these are the games that they want to play, then you are absorbing people's whatever they have, whatever power they have, whatever super energy they have. Everyone's got something. That's the thing about narcissists, is that they don't see that they have their own divinity, so they want to like kill you for yours. But even they are fucking crafty, creative, evil people. Okay? You absorb, though, when you go to spiritual battle with these narcissists, whatever it is that were their desires, their greatest hopes, maybe even some of their gifts. And here's what I'll tell you about it, which surprised me, because I talked to the angels about it. I was like, I don't even want this. And they're like, I know. This has happened to me, specifically with my twin. I remember having manifestations come true in my life, and I was like, I didn't even ask for this. And it was because it's what she wanted. And the angels were like, oh yeah, we're just, to the victor goes the spoils. We're just giving you your things, queen. Because you defeated evil kings and warlocks and sorcerers. So what was once theirs is now yours. You get back your beauty. Because once energy siphoning is happening, you are losing your looks, you are losing your mind, you might be losing your hair, you might be gaining weight, you might be losing weight. You just don't feel so great. And they're just going up, 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 up. I'm channeling a Kesha song. They're just going up. It's all gas, no brakes for them. And they want back into that, Earth Angel friend. This block spin is brought to you by, I am so lonely. I have nobody to call my own. Or I have nobody that I own, more specifically. That's what she's really thinking about me. I have nobody that's going to subject themselves and deal with my nonsense and foolery. We'd only just begun. Pivoted, and she pitched me and all the things, and got back into connection, and I was like listening, and just my angels were like, you hear this? Do you hear this abusive language? You hear this behavior? And it wasn't even towards me. I was observing how she was treating other people like a psychopath, etc., etc. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I always kept my boundaries as friends. This is why I didn't want this to go this way. This is why, thank God, I had tamed my lust to this day, because I could have been back in that undertow again. I remember my twin telling me in the beginning of having her destiny collide with the karmic energy she was supposed to be with and the love of her life. I remember her telling me how horrible she spoke to everyone in the office, and how everyone in the office seemed scared of her, and how she was just such a bee to everybody. And I was thinking, when she was starting to fall for her later, like, is this the same person that you said was so mean? You see how we'll override that because of whatever we think is our dream? That was one of my tests I had to pass, was, will I let lust beat my ass? Will I let my attraction drag me back to some bullshit? And I'm here to tell a story, guys. Looks like I conquered it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't get tested all the time, because I do. But I haven't been tested since her, honestly. In that regard, specifically, that demon, other demons came through, but the lust demon, I've not really had attraction for anybody like that since. But I still walked away, even with attraction. I still was like, well, I guess that's that on that, because what I'm not going to be is under constant spiritual attack, and I'm not going to fill you up for free. Everything now for me is about reciprocity. People love to try to get us in fucked up spiritual contracts where they are not at all holding their end of the bargain. And that's how you know when to withdraw. Whether you want to label someone a narcissist or not, we don't know. We're not doctors. There are plenty here on YouTube for you to watch. There are fantastic therapists, crappy childhood therapists. I love her. I think she does brilliant work. She's almost at 1 million. God bless. I remember watching her when she was like at less than 100,000. She's brilliant. And she does a great job doing some real life scenarios. So if someone here may need help with her, if you're new out of a narcissistic relationship, she's a fantastic tool. Dr. Ramani, etc., etc. My point is saying this, though, is these people don't ever want to let you go. And every one of those doctors I just named, and any channel that you watch is going to tell you the same. And they don't want to let you go because, yes, they want you to fill them back up, but they also want to F you back up. They are so angry that you took your power back. Sometimes you'll run into people that are genuinely sincere and aren't narcissistic, but just, an X is an X. Not everyone in the whole world is narcissist. We all have narcissistic traits, though, but not all of us are narcissists to that degree, that malicious, evil degree. And a lot of us are not struggling with those entity attachments. I think those attachments would have wanted to attach back to me. And if anyone was going to make me get back in that lust energy, it would have been she. And that was my test. It was, are you going to pick this, or are you going to deal with this abusive, insidious energy that you see seeping in? The more comfortable she got with me being under her wing again, as so she thought, the more comfortable she became with the idea of being abusive. The more the mask could slip. Y'all know exactly what it is to watch someone's mask slip. At first they're lovely and they're delighted and they're gracious or grateful or whatever. And then they become entitled and expectant and surly and sullen and nasty and calculating and cruel. It's tale as old as time. It's what narcissists do. And it's what we earth angels and empaths do. We combat that. For anyone that may get a text like this, or did get a text like this in this retrograde, don't look back. It's Lot's wife over here. Don't look back, lest you turn into a pillar of salt. And in fact, I would take several salt baths and showers. If you feel someone's energy on you heavy, oh yeah, Monette, I already did it. Do it again. I'll do it again. Keep doing it. Keep cutting. Keep washing it away. Keep saying, I call back my energy from specifically. If you need to do fire magic, do that. Meaning light a candle of protection, a black candle for yourself. If you want more help, email me. Let's talk about what you need to do. If you would like to book a session with me, you can do that too on my website, Evolving with Monette. I'm here for you in whatever capacity. If you want to spend not a dime, watch YouTube. Everyone's talking about how to break black magic because now we're very aware of the spiritual warfare that we're steeped in and have always been. But that, hey, big head text is not sexy, friend. It's not to flatter you. It's an alert that the demons are still after you. I wish every person I counsel that has ever been tempted by the hey big head text because they're lonely, because they're telepathic, because whatever. This was a friend before lover that would telepathically tune in to when I was going through something. This was someone who had protected me when I was going through things. And this is someone who brought me things to go through. The second she wanted to say, or have me say to her, I love you. How, Sway? That's demon energy. Maybe she'll be unpossessed in my absence. And because I care about keeping the world demon free, I'm going to keep my distance from her forever in perpetuity. Because it's for her. It's for her good. It's her. It's, what is it? It's, what do they say? It's me. It's not you. It's me. I'm so worried about your health of demons. Stay far, far away from me. It's not a person that's going to treat me well were I to get back with her, were I to say, oh, show me that future faking you were doing wasn't a lie, and let's go live our most magical lives, and you start showing up and actually doing what the fuck you said, and whatever. That is something that would be a detriment to my life. And the ascension that I have worked so bloody hard to push through in the last 5 years would just go right out the window. That's the thing about tests. You could be right at the end of it, and then you can mess the whole thing up. And you might be able to recover something, or get some extra points, or do some extracurriculars. But ladies and gentlemen, if you've been holding steady, hold steady. You're almost to a new level. And I don't mean like almost like 5 more years and 6 more years or what. No, I'm over that. I told angels, I said, y'all gotta give me days. It's the final countdown. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I have real life things to do. I have real work. I have new clients. I have all this. And also, you want me to be dealing with these, hey, big head texts from the narcissist? No. So I'm going to do something collective that I recommend you do, which is eliminate one thing off my plate. That person stays gone out of my energy forever and ever because I've called back my energy to me. Because I actually decided I deserve to be great. The narcissists don't want you to be great. And they sure as hell don't want you leaving anything because they feel like with your absence, it is food off their plate. And to a degree, they're right. You have a Midas touch. You're able to manifest. You're able to make things flourish and grow. You have a maternal energy. Anybody that is in your vicinity will be uplifted, will be cheerleaded to whatever degree. But you've worked too hard on your boundaries. In order, if you love someone and you think that they're not a narcissist, and maybe it's just an ex you're listening to this, you stumbled across this strange corner of the internet, and you're listening and you're like, well, I don't know if my ex is a narcissist, and they do seem like they're sincere. Okay. But I still would not go back there. Let's just say this person's not a narcissist or a sociopath. Let's just say she's not a sociopath. Let's just say she's not. That would be a far stretch. Because I've seen her just fucking eyes go black. And those beautiful blue eyes. Icy blue into fucking icy black. Let's just say she's not that. And she really has remorse. Even if I were to go back and she was not a narcissist and this was not going to unravel years of spiritual work, what would happen here if she's just a regular person? You're still an earth angel, guys. If this is not a totally terrible, narcissistic, sociopathic person, you're still an earth angel, and your job in people's lives when you're dispatched in is to be an awakening. If I were to go back to coddle her, she would not properly heal. Let's just say she's a regular human and she has the opportunity to introspect as to her toxic ass behavior and her choices and the way she was siphoning my energy. Let's say that God says, we used you to elevate her. Now I stop her elevating if I go back because I want her revalidation to soothe me. You guys get it? You have a responsibility to hold your boundaries. Because if you did really love someone, for the moments of good she gave to me, I'm holding my boundaries. For the moments of good she gave to me before it devolved into hot fire toxicity, I'm holding my boundaries because my higher self knows that I did love this person before the entity attachment, and I did love this person through her own grief and loss of her brother, and that her brother was watching her and her ridiculous behavior and talking to me and being like, girl, I'm trying to tell her to stop. But see, you never see until you finally see. If I were to go back and to engage with her and to parent her children and to do things with her, and by that just meaning loving them in the way that I do. I'm godmom energy to a lot of kids in my life. If I were to go back and do that, I would rob her of the ability to reflect and get it right. If she by happenstance is not any of the diagnoses of the DSM from my armchair perspective, and she's just a regular person who got a little bit defective in toxicity because she was steeped in it in her own world and life, and she is human to whatever degree, I guess, I would be causing a cosmic mess. It would be a butterfly effect that would undo work that I was dispatched in to do. And I'm a person that likes to finish my assignments through and through thoroughly. I write summaries, essays. I leave things exactly how they need to be. I say what I need to say if I want to say. Sometimes I don't always say. Sometimes I don't always have to. Sometimes it's not always that deep. Sometimes you're dealing with a lot of people if rosters are involved, and it's not always that deep. But this was a deeper thing for me. The person on the screen did mean something to me, and I was conflicted with her wishy-washy and at times toxic energy. But I got final clarity, and to go back would be a disservice to her, truly. I did the work long before I even left. But I'm not going to unravel even the work for her, not on some martyrdom shit, but on some grow up, bitch. We all have to grow up. We all have to take accountability. And if you feeling whatever pangs that Venus retrograde caused you to feel, then take a deeper look, because there's a bigger reveal. Also, we don't have to carry that, Earth Angels. I was in that person's life, and had she had made some strides, if she's not a total narcissist and sociopath, not that I could have helped her get it right, but what I could have helped her do is transmute the energy and make the lesson of integrating her shadow and her light a little bit easier. That's specifically why we're in people's lives. But when they do the things, rejection, act crazy, or we realize we got to get out of here, they're too crazy, whatever happens that brings it to its end, that means that the healing is up to them and it's on them. It's no longer on you. We're quite generous. We'll pick up the tab. We're not picking up the tab anymore once we disconnect from that. The healing's on them. The healing belongs to them. And now they will do it the hard way. That's very much what the angels say. Would you like to do this easy or the hard way? Collective, how many things have you done the hard way? We didn't want to, but we did. Well, if you were a gift to somebody, if you were a helper, if you were whatever, and then whatever happens and they choose their hubris and their ignorance, then let that be what it may be. Do not go in and help them clean up anything. Do not give them an ounce of understanding. Do not unpack anything for them. Do not explain anything to them. Just let them be. The greatest service that I did is truly say, get thee away from me. She had to be creative even to send this. My point is this. I'm not going to engage. It's a teaching point and a moment, but not for me to be like, I miss you too. How is blah, 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 and you. No. We did it. There's nothing else to do. So, what I will wrap with here is make sure to protect you. My energy currently is a fortress. And so I'm grateful that this happened at this time. But that's why you need to understand that the demons will be on demon time. Sometimes people are going to spin the block when you're more vulnerable. Sometimes they'll spin the block when you're less. But depending on that vulnerability level, you can potentially make a mess. I am grateful. There is a gratitude note that I will write before this night commences where I will thank my angels for even allowing this to happen at a time when I am a fortress. When I can't say impervious to penetration, but it means that I am absorbing a lot of attacks that come my way and transmuting them at a speed that's even astounding me with shamanic help and energy that's above me. This is not anything I'm doing. This is initiation that I'm going through currently, and you guys are here hearing it and witnessing it in real time. The divine has been working in the most incredible ways that I can't wait to share with you. But this is something I can share with you right now. You have other spiritual work to do. She was in a long line of people that I was soulmate dating, friends, family members that I had to set incredible, firm boundaries with and walk away from completely for many, many of them. I cannot tell you how many exes. People, like my first crush called me during this retrograde. It was a guy, he's gay, which is hilarious. And this is not, I've also dated a guy that was gay, but that was not him. But my first crush called me out of the blue. It was so weird. I could tell he even felt awkward. I could tell he was on the phone thinking, why am I on the phone with you? It was so sweet. And he has supported me, God bless. He has supported me, I must say. But it was so, so sweet. But he was just like, hey, and we just like talked about a couple things and like things into politics, but it was Venus retrograde. Now I tell you, this is the most intense Venus retrograde I've ever had. I don't know if there was an ex that did not reach out or did not have contact with me to some degree. It was insane. So in any case, guys, cut yourselves free. You did the work. And that wasn't a toxic ex, and that wasn't even an ex at all. That was a crush. We never did a single thing. It was super innocent. We watched the fireworks on the 4th of July on the beach on a blanket. That was so romantic. I was so in love with this kid. But anyway, guys, fireworks. Yeah. Your narcissist misses your fireworks. Because it's like, for them, it's a bad fireworks show. That's what I just channeled. It's a bad fireworks show. Like, you know, where like, oh, the explosives go off and like they set a boat on fire. Like, it's like crazy. Like, that's what's going on in their life. Don't go back to help them put out those flames at all. You are not the fire brigade. Do not go back to help them. Do not go back to sue them. Do not go back to pump them up. Do not go back because they need a rebalancing. They don't care about you, really. They just want to absolve themselves one of their guilt, and they want to finish you properly. That's it. That's all. They want to validate, be like, look, she came back. I couldn't have been that bad. This couldn't have been me. They hate when they attack you, and then the rest of their community identifies their villainy. They hate when the mask is off. Fucking mask off. The mask is off, guys. So leave it off so that you do not end up reburned and calling the fire brigade for yourself because it was a lesson you refused to learn. The hey big head text is not worth it. The hey you up, what you doing is not worth it. Girl, you are worth it. You put your thing down, you flipped it, and you reversed it. And what you reverse is the curse. You reverse the poison. You reverse the destiny swap. You reverse the destiny swap. You reverse the destiny swap. God of wonders above all majesty. You had angels. You had ancestors. You even had demons that were pissed at them because they didn't deliver you properly, that were working on behalf of thee. That's a lot of energy, Earth Angels. So now you see why they're trying to text to see what they can see. Nobody does it like you, guys. And they'll never want to let you be. So you will have to be vigilant to protect that precious Earth Angel, light worker, empath, cosmic energy. So good sharing energy with you guys today. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.